Started here. Okay, roll call. Everyone is present today. 4.0 is to approve the agenda. I'll move to approve. Get a second.
I'll second.
Any comments or questions on the agenda? All those in favor of approving the agenda, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. 5.0, communication and reports. Start with Superintendent Grover.
Okay, again, as usual, no specific order. I'm gonna start with an update from Brandy, which is food service. She'd asked, she'd give me a piece just to keep you in the loop. She says, I'm happy to report that we have been awarded a few grants, one worth $5,000 to purchase Minnesota grown and raised foods. This funding will help us build stronger connections between local farmers and our communities while providing fresh, sustainable products to students. In addition to the 5,000, they're also awarded 715 to put towards a new warmer. She also took the initiative, applied for another, I think it was a federal grant, and she got awarded $10,204 to purchase a new steamer. And so, good news. Give her credit. She works very
Yeah, that's
hard.
excellent.
And so
Awesome.
That's good.
that's that. If there's questions, I can take them back. I don't know anymore on that.
Are they
Um,
all going into one place or?
No, well, I don't know how the fresh food is being broken up or exactly how that's, the steamer, I believe was for New Heights. I don't,
Okay.
it's, that's for one building where they were replacing. She wrote it specifically for that, whichever building. So, good news, bad news. The block grant, which we were applying for the facility audit, we had four firms. Three firms met the deadline, got everything. We selected a group to work with. This morning, we got notice that the block grant's on hold now. It's federal money. And so it's one of the first. So that being said, the facility assessment, which again, main reason we were going forward is it was going to be a free assessment, but not saying it's done. I'll be honest, and everyone's been notified, ICS was the one selected. Again, they were all, the ones that got in on time were Kraus Anderson, Inbuilt, which used to be Apex. I don't know a lot about them, but they've been in the business. And then ICS, and ICS was selected. But anyway, just got off the phone with them a little bit ago. They know we're on hold. They're actually working with several schools, so they weren't necessarily happy, but it is what it is. Attended last Thursday that intergovernmental meeting, which was interesting. Lindsay was there. It was just I'm going to say a cool concept. Where I came from, we didn't have such a thing where it brought everyone, and I might have missed someone, but EDA, Chamber, there was a representative for Senator Tina Smith, the county, the city, and multiple people on some of them that gave updates, Northwest Technical and Community College, ourselves. We didn't get a lot of the other reps and senators that they were hoping for, just didn't work in their schedule, but groups shared information. 2.5, 3 hours. I don't know, wasn't, it didn't go till 4 o'clock, but, you have any?
No, it was a good meeting. I thought it was a nice informal way to get some more information and have some conversations and just update each
And
other.
then the piece I guess I didn't ask, and then there were a few, several businesses represented.
There
And
was, yeah.
at the end, they did, anything you were specifically looking for or wanted to update. And so, they had a chance to speak and go forth. So that's that. Another piece just to put on your radar, and more will be coming at our next meeting, is we're working on updating our achievement and integration grant. Okay, and just to give you a little bit of whether you're, we've had achievement and integration for, I can't speak of how long. They call it a grant. Our district is able to apply. You have to meet certain criteria. For the most part, part of DECA comes out of there, part of DARA comes out of there, and a chunk of Soraya comes out of there. You have to meet, and I put, this is my first district, my other district didn't qualify. And so just to give you a little heads up, it's for racially isolated districts. So you have to have certain population, when they say racially isolated, that qualifies you. You should have some goals to reduce disparities in academic achievement. So you're trying to bring bring, academics up and things like that. You're to increase racial and economic integration, so bringing together. But here's the piece I kind of starred. It's a framework for districts to address inequalities and ensure all students have access to quality programs. So the money can be used, for instance, let's say you did a tutoring program after school. You know, that's a piece of it that will qualify. All students can participate, but the hope is, you know, some families that truly need it, which unfortunately often is the racially isolated is what they're saying, pulls up. One of the pieces we're looking at trying to get off the ground, and again, it's come fairly quick, but we're digging in and seeing if we can get it, is investigating AVID, which I know, like to talk some more after, but we've had several meetings. There's a cost to it to get going. You know, the upkeep and stuff, there's a cost to it too. So we're seeing what we can work out. As far as the program, the couple schools I've talked to, are all behind it if you can do it. But like I say, we're still in the money piece of seeing, we have another, call tomorrow. I think it's 4 o'clock or something to look deeper into it. But, like I say, we're also looking at the achievement and integration because we're certain if we've used everything 100% appropriately. And so, you know, we want to make sure if I'm signing my name to it, at least, yeah, you know, we're meeting the goals and stuff. So I think there's a possibility, but, I don't want to say we're 100%, we're bringing it to you yet, but just so if you hear, and I'd love to have some conversation offline and get some thoughts. I think that's, other than like budget and work session stuff, I think that's all I have now, but can I hit committee stuff?
Yes,
Should I-
absolutely.
Okay, just so you're aware, the calendar committee has met, we had a couple rounds of voting. There's a version that's gonna come to you on the 10th. We, actually administratively, I mean, the one they voted on, we have no reason not to bring, but we met administratively and set conference dates and things like that on Friday. Tomorrow night at 3:30 or after school, I think, the committee again gets to bless it, and then it'll come to you. And of course, I mean, you can accept it, you can amend it, you can do whatever, but that's coming. Just so you're aware that they chose the 2-week Christmas break. That was most popular, and so that's that. Health and safety, actually, I didn't plan on postponing it, but it was recommended when we had the Thursday meeting. I was just gonna have someone else, but they wanted me there. No, not
I
you.
got it.
No, because
Okay.
I didn't postpone it earlier. I knew I
Okay.
had the meeting,
Okay.
but knew I was gonna be at the, intergovernmental or whatever, and I just was gonna
Sure.
have one of the attendees take notes, and they're like, no, you should probably really be there, and so I'm like, okay, so that's why it got postponed like a day ahead or whatever. So that's this Thursday, we're redoing that. Just so the group's aware, meet and confer, there was no, was to be again today, there was no reason to meet. But I did notice, and I apologize, we had 224, and on that calendar sheet, I think I had 5, I think it was 5/5. There's another date in there I missed because I thought we were going quarter, but we snuck another one in at the end of March.
Good.
So it's Lindsay, Holly, and Josh. If it works, we have 331, and I remember, the reason we did that is we're in the budget time and work session that thought, okay, if there was one now, maybe there's stuff. If not, probably come the end of March. That's when we're gonna be trying to finish things up and maybe there would be some more. So I apologize, that's not on that, you know,
So did
the
you say March 31st?
March 31st, the 4 o'clock.
At 4.
Yeah, yeah. Whether we need them or not, like I say, we've had 2 scheduled. You're supposed to have, I think 4 in a year, and I think we've had 2 and we haven't met on either.
Okay.
Not saying we will or won't, but, I didn't have that. Policy Review Committee has not met, but we got our first round of updates today. I got an email. I have not had a chance to look at them, but that is Amanda, Lindsay, and Holly. So I'll probably see what's in there. Like I said, I haven't had a chance, but legislature's in session and things will start coming. So, I'll shoot you an email sometime this week and try and figure out if assuming there's some major changes, in there, we'll want to get together and start looking. Again, there's not has to be done tomorrow or anything, so. I think that's all I have,
Okay.
at this point until we get to the work session. or other pieces.
Okay, any questions? And we don't have any updates from anybody? Anybody in the audience? Okay. All right, we'll move on to 6.0 with the consent agenda. I'll move to approve the consent agenda as presented.
I'll second.
Go with Josh. All those in favor of approving the consent agenda as presented in board book, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Right. Motion carries. 6.1, approval of minute. Oops, that's the consent agenda. Sorry about that. 7.0, opportunity for citizens to speak. Did you have any?
No, no.
No? 8.0 is district business. 8.1 is revised fiscal year 25 budget. We'll move to approve the revised fiscal year 25 budget as presented and attached in board book. Take a motion for that. No, I didn't motion. I'll take a motion.
A second.
Any questions or discussion?
Yep. Can I throw a few things before, and Carla's not with us. She is out, today. So a couple things is if you're looking at it, first of all, the expense, which you're gonna see, over on the right, if you're looking at, we're 348,000 in the hole, so to speak, which overall is better than, looking at roughly $1 million. But of that, 250,000 are the two scoreboards, okay, that are in the expense. So theoretically, if you take 200, you're in the ballpark of being 100,000. Okay, and so they're paid for. We're gonna get revenue for the next few years to pay those off, but they're in the expense. So ballpark, you're about 100,000. Okay, now as you look down there, food service is about 14,000. The piece, and again, we have went through twice now, line by line for the most part through the budget, and we've reduced where we think we can reduce, and that includes food service. And so I'm just making the comment that there could be some places we've reduced more than maybe we can truly, again, food service is working on it, seeing if they can, but I mean, with Ron's many different buildings, if they weren't, it looked like we had a cushion, we've taken it out, trying to get as close as we can. I'll be honest, and I'll be honest, it's probably tighter than I want to be, but I'm trying to get as close as we can so that as we push it forward into next year, we're not doing things maybe we don't have to. But the tough part is, and I mentioned it to someone on Friday, if you have 2-3 years experience, and you're a little more comfortable, it's a little easier to be comfortable, but it's good, I think. But it is up to date. I mean, just a few things like the 4th grade position we didn't fill, that's been adjusted in here. So I mean, we're gonna have to look, and we'll talk about some of this stuff in the work session that, it just doesn't mean if we roll it forward and we get 2% and we, add 2%, that everything's gonna be perfect. There are some anomalies in here. The revenue is higher, in a couple different places. The pre-K is, bringing in a little more, and we talked about that, not knowing exactly, the student piece, but when you start getting compensatory in the different pieces that are attached, that's a piece of it. We've updated the student count, and again, we're fairly close. And now I don't have, like I said, if we look at our enrollment, we still continue normally to lose a little more as the year goes on. We have a little cushion, but not a lot. I mean, we've updated as of last week, Carla updated numbers.
Remind me when they take the enrollment number.
Well, the enrollment, our FTE changes all year. So it's not like in October 1 where you're set at that
Right.
number all year. So like if a kid left tomorrow, that changes our
Okay.
funding all year.
All right.
So I mean, we started out higher, we've slowly lost some. We're able to update to a certain extent to date. But like I say, we don't have a huge cushion. We're not undershooting a long ways, and that's helped us a little financially. Now, if we happen to lose 30 kids, it's
Right.
not wood, but I mean,
Right.
we'll be off because
Yeah.
we don't have that type of cushion. But that's some of the reason why the revenues come up a little more than probably because we have, and Carla has done a good job about tightening things up. And then we'll, like I say, work forward and as we hopefully approve this and move on. But as we get some direction and go forward into bringing you next, I think the next meeting, the projected for next year, we'll have some conversations a little bit about, what that looks like. So I don't know if I answered any or none or.
Well, I know at one point the lunches were doing good, like we were making a
Yep.
little bit of money. Are we assuming that we're going to not, looking at the budget?
Well, there's a piece of that, like I say, that we tighten things down and I can't speak to exactly, and Carla and Brandy could a little more of, it's not, depending on what our expenses are, cause that's all lumped together.
Mhm.
You know, if they bought, you know, a $30,000, and I'm just throwing it out, piece of equipment, that's gonna be in there right now. But like I say, we have tightened like the supply and
Okay.
it's not, you know, again, prices, that's a piece of it, you know, hate to say it. They're using eggs, they've went up a lot, you know, or whatever. And so some of that's playing in and we'll see, exactly how it plays out. So I think it'll come out close. But,
And then with salaries and wages and stuff, was it adjusted at all? with
it's adjusted as,
USDA?
it's adjusted as close as we can get with the staff that we have right now.
Okay.
Like I say, and I just use fourth grade as an example, when
Mm.
that, it's unfortunate, you know, the same with when we didn't fill, you know, part of the year, that tech position that was out, now the tech person's in there. I mean, it's as close as we can
Okay.
get,
Mhm.
good or bad. But it's good, cause that's what we should be at,
Mhm.
you know, or
Okay.
should be doing. But I think it's good, you know, like
Yeah.
I say, I mean, it's better, better than I thought at this point. You know, can things change? They can, but, it's not gonna be drastic unless we, you know, lose major heating unit or something
Yeah.
there that,
Right.
you know, but that's a different story.
Any other questions or discussion on the budget?
And I thank Carla, she's done a ton of work. So,
All right. All those in favor of approving the budget, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. 9.0, payment of claims and accounts.
Okay. I make the motion to approve the payment of the K-12 bills 128857 through 128957 in the amount of $177,211.06.
I'll second.
Any questions or discussion? Okay, all those in favor of paying the bills, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. 10.0, order board member comments. Matt, I'll start with you this time.
I don't think I have much for comments other than we're in a fun part of the sports season, it's getting to playoff time, so good luck for all the teams.
I got nothing tonight.
Yeah, nothing new.
Amanda, nothing? Holly, nothing? All right. I don't have too much either. Turning the peak on weather and I agree. All the activities,
Yeah.
even like robotics and speech and all of the activities, this is the fun part of the year. So the next 11.0, the next Board of Education meeting will be March 10th, 2025 at 5:30. And we'll take a 5-minute recess so that we can start our work session. And we don't have to videotape that part. Okay? We're in recess.